Hey, what is up guys? You're here. Welcome back to yet another Lorcana video. We have some more live gameplay for you today. We are playing with the recently featured Pabbie OTK deck. If you haven't seen the deck profile we did on it, it should be the latest video on this channel before this one. I also have it linked somewhere on the screen right now. But yeah, this is just a friendly game, no stakes. We're just practicing. We're up against my friend's Amethyst Steel mid-range deck, and we are playing a best of two, just to get quicker games in, you know, and also practice for it, since a lot of championship tournaments, especially Lorcana challenges, are in this format. So not a bad thing to try this format every once in a while. So maybe a little bit of a quicker game, but yeah, very curious how this deck can stack up against the more meta oriented decks. So we'll definitely keep giving it a spin here and there, especially against some of my friends' more tailored decks. But yeah, we are getting into it pretty quick in this game. My opponent here was on the play. He missed his turn 1, but now he got Shmi on turn 2 and Maleficent on turn 3. We had a Popsicle turn 1 and we had Tipo on turn 2. That's very nice because now we ramp into our third ink so that on our turn 3 we can play Super Goof. Super Goof has Rush, so we can use it to take out the Shmi, since the Shmi damaged himself since my opponent did not have a captain in play. So yeah, pretty nice play. We are already, I mean, as you can kind of see, we're not really going for the OTK in this game. I would say we hardly want to like purposely, you know, not have any lore going into our OTK turn. We try and take it whenever we can, obviously, because we're, you know, not trying to lose the game just to try to show off an OTK. But I think especially against this deck, so as we know in this set, Amethyst has a brand new card. We have Elsa, the 5-cost Elsa that can exert one of your characters in play when it is played. So since I know I am against that and my own characters are in danger of being exerted, then we're kind of gonna have to go for lore wherever we can, because we can't really build a board safely, because, you know, our characters are always in trouble. Like, they can usually be exerted, so something to keep in mind. But yeah, on my opponent's turn, after he plays Rabbit, he sings with it, friends on the other side, plays out Robin Hood, plays out a Pete, so we couldn't play actions. And on our turn, we're going to be a little risky here. We are going to play out our Raya, and here comes the Elsa we're talking about. So this is what I mean by our characters aren't very safe. So I did play the Raya out just to kind of test the waters. My opponent plays Elsa to exert her so that Pete can challenge her. Kind of unfortunate, but she is never really our win con anyway. We don't really need her to win, and I'm kind of using her almost as bait. Like, I want to pull out all of my opponent's like possible removal so that Pabbie can be a little safer, because Grand Pabbie is our win con. We kind of want all this, like these Elsas and whatever else can come out. We want it out of our opponent's hand before he comes down. But yeah, I did use Hiram for more draw. I don't know if that was the best idea, but I know it took all of our opponent's characters if he wanted to remove the Hiram. But yeah, my opponent does shift into the Floodborn Robin Hood, and with all 3 characters, they challenge into the Hiram to take it out. I mean, I think it's pretty dangerous to keep Hiram up and give your opponent a lot of card draw, so it makes a lot of sense. But our opponent does get 2 lore from finishing the challenge with Robin Hood, because when he banishes a character, then he gets the lore. But here we get Maui, so we're gonna remove the Robin Hood, a big threat, off the board, which is very nice. And here I kind of debated if I should challenge with Raya here, and I'm still kind of on the idea that I mean, it never feels safe to be unexerted, so we're just gonna challenge with Raya. It gets us an extra lore, because with her ability she gains lore when you have damaged characters on the board, and our Maui was already on the board, so that was nice for us. And our opponent ends up challenging our Raya with Elsa before bouncing with Fox to take out our Maui. And I kind of like this because my opponent's board is empty right now, and I feel like they can't really put on much of a threat with an empty board. So we are going to play out Grand Pabbie. So usually as a win con and trying to OTK, you kind of don't want to do this with Grand Pabbie. But the reason I just went for it is because I think Amethyst Steel has difficulty getting rid of Grand Pabbie here. Obviously they need to like either challenge it with something or like ping it down with you know, Zeus and something else to get rid of it. But since my opponent here, he bounced his Elsa earlier with Madam Mim, so I know he has Elsa for sure. So I'm just gonna keep questing, just because none of my characters are safe anyway. With Elsa in his hand, he can exert them at any point. So whenever we can, we are going to be questing. So we go ahead with a quest. There's some Wicked Glare, so sorry if you can't see my card, but the new card I just played is the Gaston. This new Gaston for this set costs less for every damage character we had. So since we had 2 damage characters, we get a 4 cost discount down to 5. I play it even though, so usually you want to rush with this card, but I play it on a blank board, and I don't rush because what I'm going to be using him for, since he has 6 health, he's another character that's hard to get rid of. So here I play out Grand Pabbie. Both of my characters have 6 health. We are going to try and end this game naturally, actually, which can be done with this deck, and I'm about to show you right here where we're going to quest with Gaston. I think my opponent makes a mistake here, so he bounced his Tinkerbell with Madam Mim Elephant, because he wanted to preserve the Tinkerbell. It was very hurt, and he wanted to use its effect again, I think. I think I benefited also from my opponent not really knowing what the strategy of my deck is, but since we have such beefy boys here, he's actually having trouble getting rid of my characters. He debated challenging Pabbie here, but since both characters can't even take out my Pabbie, and Gaston can kind of take out the elephant for free, he just decides not to do it. And here we are going to quest up to 17, and we are going to use On Your Feet Now offensively. We are using it to just stand our characters so that they are safe from being challenged. And yeah, I think this is a very good way to try and end the game. I just played my last character on the board here, and if there is no way to remove these characters off of my board, that is the victory for us. So yeah, very natural win. Just, you know, a lot of our characters have a lot of luring potential. Here, like, we have Gaston who lures for 2, we have Pabbie who lures for 3. If you can't get these characters off the board, obviously they're a big threat anyway. And we got some nice help early. We had a Goofy, you know, getting us lore. Raya actually helped us a lot. We got some lore from her. She got some removal off the board, so our Pabbie can survive right now. But yeah, doesn't look like our opponent can get rid of our board. So we kind of sneaked that one in. It was a bit cheeky, I think, where I think my opponent's always worried about when they see Raya. So this is the other thing about a deck that's not very meta. When they see cards they don't know, like Raya, I feel like their, you know, danger sense goes up, and they're like always want to get rid of it. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad obviously, but I think Raya, she can be allowed to stay on the board sometimes. She's not that you know what, I'm not gonna say that. Maybe I'm just saying that because if my opponents are listening right now, you know, I'm just lulling them into a false sense of security, leave my Raya on the board. But anyway, we are just gonna go into game 2 here. We took the first win, but yeah, so my opponent is going to go ahead here. I actually don't think that's right, because if I remember correctly, he went first the first game, so technically I should be going first, but as you can tell, we're very unused to best of 2 formats, so excuse that mistake, as yeah, we'll get better at it. But I think we're just used to, oh, I won, so you go first. I'm pretty sure I told him to go first, so it's probably my fault. But anyway, my opponent gets a much nicer start here. He gets Robin Hood into Shmi into another Robin Hood, and he's gonna go ahead and just grab your swords, get rid of my Tipo off the board. And yeah, not a great start for us, because again, we are very reliant on our characters staying on the board. But at least Tipo does us the favor of ramping us up to 4 ink, so we can immediately go into our harem here. And it looks like here my opponent is just gonna go ahead and quest. I mean, it's pretty free. I don't really have anything on the board. I guess I could have had Super Goof, but oh no, doesn't even matter, because yeah, he is going to, for 4 ink, play out his Madam Mim Elephant and bounce the Shmi back to hand. This is such a good, I feel like Steel and Amethyst go very well together, where Shmi can quest very much for free, because you're gonna probably bounce him back with one of the Madam Mims anyway. But yeah, with an elephant here and a Robin Hood, there's a lot of pressure on the board. Maybe this is a mistake on my part. I just don't see any of the cards I want to see, so I go ahead and quest with Harem to get rid of a Popsicle to draw more. And I end up finding a Gumbo Pot and a Vitalisphere. Not exactly what I'm looking for, but the problem here is my opponent has an elephant and a Robin Hood here, which is just perfect enough to get rid of my Harem. And the elephant even takes a damage on it, which is kind of a problem because with Madam Mim Elephant, her ability is when you start your turn, you can move her damage counters off of her onto other characters. So now my other characters are in trouble too. He also develops out a rabbit, which is just it doesn't look great here. My board's empty and my opponent's got a bunch of this stuff going on. I just end up brawling the rabbit just because I just want it off the board. I don't want any more bouncing shenanigans, and I don't really have anything else to get out and help us anyway. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. I play a Detective Mickey just for the ink. I actually use the Gumbo Pot to heal the elephant because that damage is just gonna come over to me anyway, so why don't I just get rid of it now? But yeah, not a great start for us. My opponent has a pretty substantial board and we are kind of struggling. And yeah, our glare is just also really bad. I need to start checking this more often in videos, but yeah, I'll try to pay attention more to that. But my opponent gets out a Queen's Castle and just moves everything onto it. This is terrible for us just because we actually don't have much to handle locations. And on top of that, these are very fat bodies on these locations that we can't get rid of. My opponent's pretty much going to draw for free here. But yeah, for our 7, we're just going to play our Grand Pabbie. I think we're just kind of looking for anything here, anything we can kind of get away with at all, just because it is not great. My opponent's going to sing with his elephant, bring out our friends on the other side. And he also has a Grab Your Sword, another Grab Your Sword. Hate to see it. Not only that, I mean, he's drawing a lot of cards, so obviously he has a lot of things to work with here, and some of those things that he has to work with is 2 baboons to get rid of Pabbie. So I think normally Pabbie is very safe against this color combination, you could say, except, you know, if Elsa exerts him and they have things to challenge him already. But nothing much I can do against Grab Your Swords into 2 baboons. So yeah, of course Pabbie is gonna fall there. We're just gonna go ahead and play another one just because I mean we don't really have much else to work with here. It's nice that he did damage our Mickey. We can use the Gumbo Pot here to just squeeze out 2 lore and just hope, because at this point, like, we have to go for the OTK because we're gonna lose. So we're gonna have to try an OTK here. My opponent has enough lore to win the following turn, so we basically have 1 turn to act here. My opponent's gonna go ahead and quest across the board and just kind of hope that we don't have anything, which is fair enough. And yeah, we'll see what else he has to play here. He's gonna go ahead and play out another, is that another elephant? That's just great. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, replaying the Shmitu. So yeah, we don't have a chance of winning if we don't win this turn, so we're just gonna have to go for it. They definitely have it the next turn. But one problem we do have is we don't have enough characters on the board. We do have a Pabbie on the board, which is very nice. We go up to 7 here just by questing. And I'm just trying to see if we have a way out, if we have something we can do here. And we do have a Mother Gothel, which is nice. I end up going for the Raya too, and here's the thing, we get pretty close, but the problem here is all my opponents have 3 strength on the board. Robin Hood and Elephant have 3 strength, so Raya can't challenge them without dying. Does it count if she challenges locations? I'll have to read the card again, but the problem here is I couldn't challenge them without dying, which is the problem. And oh, that's not even a problem because I need her to take damage as well because I have a Gumbo Pot in hand. So my thought was, you know, I challenge Raya, take some damage, and then double Gumbo Pot for basically 8 lore. So 8 lore plus the other, I think 2, yeah, the 2 from the 2 damage character, I would have gotten up to 17. So I got pretty close. I almost, I guess I halfway to OTK, like, if you know. So that's the kind of why the importance of, you know, gathering lore while you can, because sometimes that's all you can do. Yeah, I had 2 Gumbo Pots. I unfortunately didn't have Everaz before, or On Your Feet Now. On Your Feet Now would have been really nice, but yeah, anyway, very nice game. I'm still working on this deck. I think we can get it just a little bit nicer. There's a few more additions I want to add here and there to make it, you know, a bit more viable, but yeah, I think it's going well. We're gonna keep trying with this deck. We're gonna try and make it work against the meta, but yeah, you know, it'll never be a tier 1 deck, it'll never be a tier 0 deck, but I think we can surprise some people, especially if they're not expecting it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to catch the next one. I got some crazy new deck ideas, and I'm also gonna keep trying with this deck and all my other decks, and we're gonna, you know, find something that works. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give a like, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and ciao.